driven, determined, resourceful. Jack Williams, Jr.
Jack Williams and I were freshmen in 1974 together. We came in together and of course played 4 years together and left out of here at about the same time. So we were teammates. That's how I got to know Jack Williams.
You remember your great players, and sometimes you remember those knuckleheads. And I remember Jack Williams very well. And I remember Jack because, number one, he was one of the bigger guys I had recruited. He was a pretty good sized guy. I forget exactly how big he was, but let's put it this way, I had to look up to him. And I liked guys when I had to look up to them.
And Jack was very intimidating. I was scared to death of Jack when I was a freshman. Jack had this way of playing to that, and we used to say, let's send Jack off the bus first. We wanted the opponent to see him and think we were all built like him.
Jack was a special guy. He came to Bowling Green wanting to be a good student and a good football player, and both things worked out for him because of his attitude and his work ethic.
We both were drafted that spring. He went off to the then St. Louis Cardinals, and I went to the Cleveland Browns. We really supported each other and cheered each other on. I remember that first year when several of us were in the NFL, we couldn't wait to play that team because you got to see your old college teammate. That was almost more important than playing the game in those days.
I don't think the qualities to be a great football player are any different than being a great trial lawyer, for example. Because if you're a great football player, number one, you're a hard worker. Number two, you got a great attitude. Number three, you get up early in the morning, go to bed late at night, and you work hard at your trade.
That kind of commitment to always do the very best that you can comes across in his work. It shows in all of his trial work. Jack was involved in one of the longest trials that I've ever even heard of.
We became involved in a gigantic case in New Orleans, involving a claim by a class of Louisiana smokers. And Jack made the closing argument at the end of the first phase trial and won two very critical issues. And he made it in a very simple, compelling way, and that jury listened to Jack Williams, as everybody listens to Jack Williams, because he has a certain, humility, a modesty, but an authority when he speaks.
He does, I think, project just what he is, and that is a very accomplished lawyer, but he's also a person who has great humility and respect for other people. And I know that he speaks so very highly of his parents, and he attributes so very much of the things that we see as good qualities in him to his parents.
He was very close to his grandmother, and she would send him periodically a huge bag or can of cookies, tremendously excellent cookies. And I would know when they were coming because I could see the mail lady bringing them to Jack's office, and I would always go and make a visit. But I was so touching to me that here he was, this giant of a man, an ex-football player, brand new lawyer, and his grandmother was sending him cookies to the office to sustain him and keep him working hard.
I'd say that Jack is a kind, caring man who shows great humility despite all that he's accomplished and despite his standing within the profession.
He gives back a lot to the community, gives back a lot to his family, gives back a lot to the lawyers that he works with. He's just a well-rounded fellow, very talented, but I think the quality I like most about him is that he is humble and modest in all of his accomplishments.
To sum up Jack Williams, I would say physically imposing, big heart, not as serious as he wanted everybody to think he was, and obviously very, very successful, and BG's really proud of him.
Jack, you know what? This is a great honor. I'm not sure how many alums. I think we have like 170,000, and there's 4 gone into the Distinguished Academy. That's tall cotton, big guy. I'm proud of you. Great job.